So first things first, the platform that I'm going to use in this case is going to be WordPress, right? This is one of my WordPress sites, youareallyamazing.com. This is just a tutorial site, right, that I use. This landing page was literally built through the landing page, AI landing page method that I showed you guys. This was built, I believe, with Gemini. So Gemini programmed me this thing, and I gave it just the URLs of my YouTube videos, right? And it made me this landing page in the course of like 2 minutes. Nonetheless, we're going to go into our WordPress and then we're going to go ahead and log in and start creating a SaaS solution, like a very simple SaaS solution, right? I'm just going to touch the surface level of all of this stuff. So I just need maybe one or two ideas that we can do this so we can make it a little bit more engaging. So any suggestions? Bax, you mentioned an SEO solution for landing pages. So actually already built the landing page method here, but we're not going to focus on landing pages. We're actually going to focus on a post indexer for SEO URLs. Okay, cool. No problem. So you're here on your WordPress dashboard. You're going to go into, firstly, you're going to go into your admin. So you're going to go into your dashboard. And we're going to build our post indexer for URLs. Okay. And just to get an understanding of what you're trying to do, I'll actually just go into ChatGPT, because sometimes like even the ideas that I want to build, I'll need to, I ping ChatGPT to like kind of flesh it out even for myself, right? So I want to build a post indexer for SEO URLs for my WordPress site. Can you explain to me, as if I'm 8 years old, what I'm thinking of, right? So let's say you have an idea, right? But you don't quite understand it yourself, but you kind of have is there, right? So what you're trying to do, you're building a big list, an index that helps Google find your blog faster and understand what they're about. So your site shows up better in search results. So basically we want to send our the blog posts on our website into Google. What we're going to do is I'm going to create a simple bot that gives us a sitemap, and then you can take that sitemap and you can plug it into your Google Webmaster. All right. So let's say I want to simply build a sitemap from all of the posts on my site. So I can submit it into Google search console. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, where you ping it using the API, but in this case, we're not going to go in, too much into depth in that case, and also don't want to show my API keys. So in that case, we're going to go, and this is ultimately what our sitemap is going to look like. Our plugin is going to create a sitemap like this, and here's basically like the code of what it's going to do essentially, right? But let's first of all go into our plugin here, our WordPress dashboard, and we're going to go into plugins, and we're going to add a new plugin. And the plugin that we want is called Code Snippet. Sorry, not Code Snippet, it's WP Code. So when you go into the search here, you type in WP Code. Boom. And then all you do is install, and then you activate. And what you can see here in my codes that I actually already have the plugin installed. So once you have it installed, the code snippets, then you can start producing your essentially your tool that you want to create, right? And in this case, I already have PPC basic dynamic script. I'm not really sure what that is. Don't quite remember. Test location insertion. So I'm just gonna actually delete some of these, right? And that's good to go. All right, then what you do is you go into add new and add your custom code new snippet. So add custom snippet here. And then what we do is we select PHP snippet, or you can obviously select PHP snippet over here as well. And then we're going to name it Rajesh sitemap creator for Search Console, right? So that's going to be the name of our plugin. And then now what we want to do is we want to use our AI to program it. Now, currently the best AI to use out there is Claude. I don't know if you guys are aware of Claude or not, but you simply go to claude.ai. All right, so I'm already logged in, but essentially you go to claude.ai, and this is the tool that we're going to use to program. At the moment, as the time of this recording, is the best AI for programming, but don't hold my word for it, because within a month, Google might be better, or Grok might be better, or ChatGPT might be better. But at this particular moment in time, Claude is the best AI for programming. So once you've logged in, you can go ahead and start creating your code. So in this case, what I like to do is, because I have a paid membership, I simply select the Opus model. The Opus model is going to be the best one. But if you don't want to pay like the biggest membership for this particular tool, then it's either Sonnet. I think Sonnet would be okay for you guys. But in this case, I'm going to select Opus, which is the best model, and we're going to select code. Okay, so actually, I want to yeah, okay, fine. So it's going to basically open up another window here in a moment. So I want to create a plugin that no. So once again, write a WP code script in PHP for this, right? And then we're going to basically create the plugin itself is, I want the pages, posts on my site indexed into a sitemap.xml, right? Or actually just create a script that creates a sitemap.xml for the pages, posts on my site, right? And my plugin is called Rajesh's index sitemap for Google SEO or Google Search Console. And then we need menu name. So our menu name is going to be Rajesh, right? Rajesh SEO. And we want tab structures for the pages in the WP admin. And let's just actually see what it does for now. So are you using this for PPC and not Google Ads, or is this in combination? I'm not quite sure what I understand your question there. In the context of the plugin itself. So nonetheless, you can see it starts to program for us very beautifully. Here's our plugin, Rajesh's sitemap for Google Search Console, right? Starting create for us, etc., etc. And starts to go through it. And you can literally see that it's literally programming the entire thing for us, right? And in a moment, once it's ready, all we do is we take this and we copy and paste it into our WP code. And then all of a sudden we have a working sitemap thing, right? Now, keep in mind that sometimes it's not perfect because there's certain nuances to, let's say, sitemaps themselves have to be presented in a very particular way, right? They have to have certain criterias like last modified, change frequency, priority, things like this. But because we're using the Opus model, it's pretty much very aware of this. And maybe a couple months from now, if you rewatch this video or you try programming this again, the AI models get better and better, so they make even less and less mistakes, and they just like literally one shot. So they do it in one shot from your single prompt, right? So here it'll explain to you what it did. So it created us an admin menu structure. It created us the dashboard tab features. It created the page post management, the settings, the sitemap generation, additional features, and how to use it. So even here, it's amazing. Like at this point, it even gives you the instructions. Copy the entire code, go into WP code in your WordPress admin, create a new snippet, PHP snippet, paste the code, select run everywhere or in the admin. In this case, we just wanted it in the admin, and select save and activate. So boom, copy. There we go, paste. Our code has been pasted. We're going to simply run it everywhere, and we're going to activate, right? And save the snippet. And what you'll notice right away is that we have Rajesh SEO. Boom, like it's part of our menu now. Now, what I don't like is that it's all the way at the bottom here, and there's no real distinguishing colors. All right, so I found some gimmicky ways of basically changing this. So we're gonna go back to our code here, and I'm gonna put in the prompt. I'm gonna change it up a little bit, and while it's programming, we're gonna go check out the plugin that we just made. So I want the color of the menu item in the admin to be a nice green color. Also move the menu to the very top. Right. And then what I noticed is that usually it won't change the color simply because there's a particular WordPress things. So the menu color usually has to be applied in line to the menu item itself, I believe. And what you're noticing is that I'm literally talking to it like a human, right? Like imagine you have your own employee to the left of you, and you're basically talking to it as if you would talk to a human, to a real person. So we're going to go back to our plugin here, and while it's developing our next adjustments, we're going to go into Rajesh's SEO, right? And hold on, let me just update Elementor so we stop getting this error. And then you can see here's the sitemap dashboard. Here's where our sitemap is going to be. Now, I actually don't like this URL in particular because it can be overwritten by WordPress, but these are nuances once you start using WordPress in general. For the sake of this tutorial, not a big deal. Last generated, we have our total pages, our total posts. So let's go ahead and see what the pages tab shows. So it's basically going to show us all of the different pages that we've created. So I want to only include, for example, the pest control pages, right? Or I want to include the pest control and the plumber page, right? So I'm going to save that. And oh, okay. So these are excluded pages. So let's exclude everything except pest control and plumbing. Boom. All right. So it's excluding and only including those into our pest control thing. Then we're going to posts. And for our posts, all we have is hello world, and that's fine. And let's see what it did for settings. So change frequency simply tells Google, hey, how often does my page actually change? So re-index my page every week or so. This is not 100%, and usually it depends on the domain rank of your site, like how much authority your site actually has. But in this case, this will basically do for now. And then auto generate priority. I always set it to 1 because it sets your page to like number 1 priority, like the pages that you're setting to number 1 priority. And then we're going to go back into dashboard, and let's go ahead. Actually, first let's view what currently we have for the sitemap. So here's what it's applied already. So this is the default sitemap that it's created, right? And then let's go ahead and generate a new sitemap. So generated successfully. And let's go ahead and see. Yeah, so because of caching issues, it's not going to be able to refresh this because I run my site through Cloudflare, so it won't be able to show us the updated one, unfortunately, unless we do in the URL here, no cache equals 1, 2, 3. Boom, there we go. So we have to just basically bypass the caching, and you can do that by typing in whatever you want up here. Just say, Rajesh, there you go, and then equals 1, 2, 3, 4. This basically bypasses the cache, so you can see like what's actually happening in that case. But since I run my sites through Cloudflare is the one that's indexing my actual thing. So in situations like that, I had to develop another solution, which was to basically clear the Cloudflare cache as well. Right. So whenever you generate the sitemap itself, you have to make sure that whatever caching plugins that you use for basically speeding up your site, they're cleared at the same time. So these are additional solutions that you have to fix. Now, so we have our sitemap. Beautiful, right? Looks amazing. We simply take this URL and we copy and paste it into our Google Search Console, right? Now, let's go back to our code here, and we made the adjustments, right? The adjustments that we made was that we wanted the menu position to be at the very top, and also we wanted a different color for our menu. So let's see if it's been implemented. We simply copy the code once more. We go back into code snippets, and we're going to go and edit. Rajesh's sitemap creator for Search Console. And simply paste, update, and there we go. And now you can see that Rajesh's SEO plugin is near the top currently. So as you can see, my PPC basic menu, I set it to the very top simply because, playing with this a particular thing, right? But unless you can see Rajesh's SEO and it's green, beautiful, right? So any changes that you want to make, you simply type them into the thing. Now, Rajesh, are there any additional modifications you liked for your plugin? Or does anybody have any suggestions, like something that they'd like to see in the plugin itself? You can also do in the admin, I want to see the sitemap file size and how many entries are in the sitemap. I also want a button to regenerate, basically delete, recreate the sitemap, right? Boom. Do you generally use Claude Code web interface or preferred with Cursor, Claude Code? What is the stack you prefer? Yeah, so that's what I'm showing right now is the very basic minimum of doing this kind of stuff. This is the fastest way of basically getting this up and running, right? Once you start introducing your Cursor, your Claude Code, then you start moving up in levels, right? But for someone who just wants to get their feet in the door or like basically solve like something super simple, then I'm just showing this method for now. In the future tutorials, I'll obviously start covering the more in-depth stuff, but this is just like a super primer. But I personally use Cursor just for the IDE. I don't pay the subscription. And then on top of that, I use Claude Code. But for the purpose of this tutorial, if you simply need like the most basic script, or even for testing before you integrate it fully into your Cursor, this is like the way to do it, right? So you just want like a script right away. This is the one little thing it does. Write it for me, and then you start integrating into your full SaaS system. Okay, cool. So sitemap file information, enhanced statistics, to action buttons, visual improvements. Okay, and real-time information. I don't even know why we need that, but sure. So we're going to go ahead and copy the code. I'm going to go into code snippets here. I'm going to edit the code once more, and I'm going to paste it in, select update, and refresh. Boom. All right, so just like that, now we're starting to build on top of our plugin, right? We're starting to get more functionality. We're starting to get a little bit more advanced. We're starting to get towards a point where, this is actually useful for us rather than just creating a simple sitemap. Now we're able to see what's actually going on, manipulating it in other ways as well. We can even put like filters on the pages that we want. So when you're generating it, you simply type in the filter that you want, for example, for the sitemap. So here, when creating the sitemap, I want to add filters to the names of the pages, posts that I want in the sitemap, right? So you can start doing that as well. And it's going to go ahead and program, and et cetera, et cetera. Now, what might happen is that Claude or whichever AI might write you some code, and then you're going to start getting errors, right? You're going to start seeing the plugin's not running, or some other nonsense, or something's breaking, or you're getting like full-blown errors on your site. And in that case, what I really recommend is you get the plugin called Debug Log Viewer, right? So you simply go into installed plugins, Debug Log Viewer. And actually, let me put that here, Debug Log Viewer. And you simply install it. Once it's activated, you click on it, right? This is not my plugin, by the way. It's a little bit basic for my needs. I would personally develop my own debugging plugin in the future, but for the sake of this tutorial, this is like the fastest way for you to start seeing what kind of errors you're running into. And then